All right, guys. So in this video, we'll be diving into kind of a new facet of the Maschine Jam, and that is using these track strips here to use and kind of manipulate performance-based parameters inside of the Jam interface. So this is something that I think will be one of the more interesting elements of this whole thing. This is actually really cool for me, and I think I'm gonna have a lot of fun with this. So we have our pattern pretty much set to go. And what we can do, what I'll typically do when I'm working in Maschine is once I get something like this laid out, I'll usually export it into separate sections in Logic. I'll just take this handle and export. So we're not going to look at that in this video yet, but we're going to be checking out how you can set up these performance strips. So for instance, if I loop this, right, so what I just played right there was just the level. See how that's set to level? We've talked about that a couple times. But if I hit Shift and I hit Perform, I'll now see this little window here pop up, and this will allow me to pick any of the performance-based effects. So let's do the filter. Okay, so I'm just going to hit Select. Now let's go to the vocal trap here, and let's hit Perform. And you can see the touch strip is active. So I can do a bunch of crazy stuff with that. So let's pull up one of our drum patterns. So I have both these set to filter, but we can change this to anything. Let's change it to stutter for the drums. Right, so just craziness can ensue. Now, this is something that I think will be fun to kind of mess with if you're just jamming about on the Maschine. So you can really set up anything you want. There are other elements to the perform section here. You also have the notes, which will basically let you to use the touch strips to set up chords or different other notes. So I'm not going to use that in this video too much, but let's check it out. Let's just look at it with the vocal chops, which will be a little bit interesting. But and the same thing, you'll be able to choose your mode. You can go from like guitar, chords, user, that sort of stuff, user definable patterns, and you can go over and you can change the root note. So let's change this root note to D3 because that's what we're in. Let's change it to minor because we're in a minor scale. All right, so let's go back now to this notes and let's see. So that's kind of interesting. I mean, I can probably fit that in with a couple like glitches here. So you can do some crazy stuff with these different elements of the touch strips. Now, in the next video, I'm going to start to export parts of this track out to individual sections in Logic so we can start to see what that process looks like for me when I'm working in the Maschine interface and how you can go through and kind of solo things to decide on the arrangement. I'll see you guys there.